Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Relevant Discussion Podcast, where we discuss everything that nobody else wants to talk about. So let's pull up and have a discussion. B, I'm here with B, my co-hosts.
What's good, T?
B.
What's happening? What's going on this week? Yo, we was off last week, so
Ah,
there might be, I don't know. Is there a lot of stuff to fill people in on?
I'm not too sure because I had a crazy week of just moving, shifting. Yeah, I was done last week. Done.
Yeah, I think it was. And it was daylight savings too.
That's what got me.
Yeah, I was definitely. Yeah, it was definitely a wrap for me all week. I struggled. 7:30. I was,
I
I, I was already in my robe knocked. Already in my robe knocked out. The kids trying to wake me up off the couch. And then, yeah, there was a couple times I'd take like a 15, 20-minute nap. And this happened all week.
all week.
I'd take a 15, 20-minute cat nap, wake right up, look around the house. Nobody's around. All the lights in the crib are on. I'd go back. I'd go and turn the lights off. And then I'd go back to sleep. So, yeah, so hopefully this week, hopefully it won't be. Hopefully I'm good this week.
Rejuvenated. I feel you. All this week, as like me and Pat say, we had Terrians just sitting on our eyelids, just trying to close these eyelids shut because I was exhausted.
Hmm.
Every single day I was tired. Every single day. But like 6 o'clock, I'm like, oh, my eyes. My eyes are heavy. I'm ready to go to bed.
Yeah, and it's wild because it's mad bright out.
It is.
It's mad.
I'll take it though. I'll take it.
Yeah, well,
I'll take it. But
power to you.
let's bring the folks in. First of all, stop. If you didn't watch the latest episode, don't just get off of this. Get off of this, go back, watch it, and then come back. And then you can get caught up.
Make sure y'all listen to her.
Please don't let
Yeah.
me have to come looking for you guys because I will. I will come
Mm.
looking for you guys and figure out why you ain't watching this episode, the insurance episode, life insurance episode.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, shout out to Christian Bond for coming through for literally pulling up to the house and sitting in with us and giving us some important information on on life insurance and it was great. It was great. Again,
It was fun.
thank you, Chris. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. So
Mm.
today's topic is: Are you relationship goals? Question.
Mm. Man.
Are you? Are you what people say you are? Are you really relationship goals? Are you couple goals? Do people look up to you and say, man, I would love to be that type of relationship? I love it.
Man, yeah, this one's when talking about definitely talking about this topic right here. Not that you shouldn't care what other people think about your relationship as between the two of y'all, but within your own relationship, the two of you should talk about having specific goals, either for the relationship, financially, personally. Do those goals match up with each other? And do those goals match up for what you guys are putting together? Because if not, that could definitely have the two people separating and go and taking their own path. So looking at other couples, it's tough to say, and you really don't know what those couples went through in order for them to get to um the couples. What we saying? We said couples goals,
Couple goals.
relationship goals.
Goals, all kind of goals. Every time we go on Instagram and we're scrolling like and we see couples like, oh man, there's such relationship goals or there's such couple goals because of what they built on Instagram. That's what I'm gonna say. Not even what they built in their life, what they displayed on Instagram. like little bits and pieces of what they've built on in their life to put on Instagram, and then people like, oh, that's it. I want I want the husband and the kids and the white picket fence and a dog, all that extra stuff, and then you don't even know the behind the scenes.
Hmm.
That's,
Yeah.
that's the dangerous part. You don't know what's behind the scenes.
What's behind the scenes? What happened? Just like it could be for an entrepreneur or someone someone in business. It could have been you could have been at this business for 10 years, 10, 15, 20 years, whatever, and then all of a sudden, boom,
Papa.
you get that that 1 year that totally changes your life. They always say they never see you when you're struggling, but they see you when you're on top.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's shining, everything looks great,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what they see, but they don't see the hard work that went into that relationship for it to get to that particular level. And I don't know. What are your thoughts on this, T?
No, I completely agree. Like Rick Ross said, you weren't shooting in the gym with me. You know,
Mm. Oh,
gotta quote
bars.
the Rose. You ain't shooting in the gym with me.
Citing Rose.
And it's,
Okay.
but it's absolutely true. You cannot look at people's lives and say they are doing what I want to do. Like you don't know the nights that they spent up doing what they need to do to try to get their business up. You don't know how much money they spent to, keep their business going. We have like no idea what people go through, especially being an entrepreneur. You have not an ounce of clue what happens when trying to build an empire, either by yourself or with someone else. And especially if you're doing it with like your wife or your husband or like your girlfriend, boyfriend, or family member. Now that's when the water gets murky and you can't, put business and relationship together, and that's when it gets crazy. But to, have that come up, everyone's just like, oh wow, I want that. I love the way he did that. I want that. I want that. Until you put the blueprint down, and they were like, I don't want that. That's too much work.
Yeah, and then I like to I like to throw out my own experiences. As I've stated multiple times during our podcast, my wife and I, we've been together for, it's been close to 20 years. Man, the first, let's see. I mean, it looks like we have a great relationship now, but the first few years, off and on, beefing. Man, when I say beefing, we were like beefing, like
Beefing. There's some
like.
people that people would take beefing into like y'all put hands on
Oh
each
yeah,
other.
no. There's
Yeah,
never,
clear it
yeah,
up
never throwing blows.
before.
Thank you for putting that out there for me. Yes, thank you, viewers. There was nothing like that happening. It was just a lot of shouting, a lot of disagreements on how things were handled. You know, I could, I'm a little bit older, so I got a couple years on her. So the one that hit the hardest, the one that hit the hardest was when I turned 21 and she had a couple years to turn 21. Like,
Ooh.
I was out, man. I was out Monday.
Every night you were out
I,
and she can't even
I,
go nowhere.
the only night I took off was Sunday. I was out every night, and it was for a short stint too, cause I was already drinking. I was already drinking before my time. So by the time I got to 21, drinking really, I was like, yeah, nah. I mean, now I can go to the club, but I never really enjoyed the club like that. But
Yeah.
I was going out with friends. I was out all the time, and it started a lot of fights, and arguments and different things like that. So for a long period, just for a long period of time. We knew we wanted to be with each other, but that was a big part. So and then when I fell out of that time period, she was now coming into it. So now she
Oh,
wanted to go out all the time, and
yeah.
I'm like, and I just want to chill out I just want to throw some sweats on and just chill. And she's going out, and now I'm saying, yo, why don't you just stay home? Why are you trying to do this? And then it hit me real quick to be like, yo, she's going through the phase I just came out of. I gotta let it be. It is what it is.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a lot of beef in there, and then finally we snapped out of it. We snapped out of it, realized that we really wanted to be with each other, but we couldn't um, we couldn't continue that. We couldn't continue in that manner. I needed peace. She needed peace. We wanted to be together. So we came to the conclusion where that we need to come on get to some common ground on some things, and there was a lot of talking, um, and we finally got to a point where with them to where we are now.
There's no fighting. Like Tanya said, you guys don't really have arguments.
Yeah, and you know what too, as we've gotten older, especially having children now,
Hmm.
like the kids feel the temperature in the house. They feel the temperature in the house, especially my youngest. If if it even seems like a little bit that we're disagreeing on something, Autumn will step in between us, and she was like, "Hey,"
Yeah.
and I'm like,
It's like the kids be the one that's bringing you guys back together before the fight even happens, before it even gets there.
"But we're not," and I've got to go back down to her. I'm like, "Yo, hey, we're not fighting, we're not arguing, we're just having a discussion."
This is what you call a healthy discussion.
Yeah,
And I get it.
we're
You kids.
having we're having relevant discussions right now. All right, you need to just back up real quick. You need to back up real quick.
I
So yeah,
get these
it's
kids.
it's it's funny.
These kids, they definitely like sense when there's something off. It's like if me and Pat, we get into it or something, and he comes home, Bell like, Mama, get that I kiss. It's just like when you get
Mm.
into it, he's like, I don't want to kiss you right now. Like, we're not cool yet. I don't want to kiss you right now. Like when you just like, but then when the kids pull you, like, okay, you give the hugs and the kiss, and you're like, okay. That's when, like, it's not it's not frozen anymore. The
Mm.
argument slowly, whatever
All right,
stupid
I can't. Okay, all right,
it's
okay,
like,
fine. You know what real love is? When when you're in an argument with your significant other, and they still ask you if you want food. You hungry? Here. You get the plate, and you look up. Thank you. But there's no more. Yo, after I'm done eating, there's no way I can't be heated no more.
can't be.
She just passed. Yo, she just passed me a plate of food.
She did. She did.
So I
She
can't.
done.
Now, if you let me, yo, now like for me, if I get really hungry, if I'm mad hungry, and nothing, and we don't see nothing, and I don't see anything coming, I start to get a little hangry. Yeah, I start to get a little hangry. So
That's different.
if
Hangry
she
and
sat
angry.
down, if we were beefing, and she sat down, and then took her plate and started eating, and I didn't eat yet.
Oh, that's disrespect.
Yeah, I mean, not to say that hasn't happened, because she knows I take my food serious. That'd be a serious hangry moment.
Oh
But
no, I've never done that before. I've never sat down and eat and just like looked at you like, go share your own food out. Like, I've never gotten to that point, and I don't think I'll ever get to that point.
yeah,
You know,
that's
we
break
may
up.
we may get getting a little tit tat argument, but I'll make the food. I'm like, here you go.
Mm.
It's not gonna be a lot of love when I say here you go. Like, here you go. Can't say I didn't feed you. You can't say I didn't feed you.
Now, so T, so what are some so in whether it's in your own relationship or just in relationships that you like to see that you especially with other people, what are some things that you what would make you sit there and look at another relationship and be like, yo, that's goals right there, even though
Mm,
you really shouldn't be looking at other relationships like that and just
yeah.
being like and just looking at your own relationship. But when you look at other people's relationships, you're like, yo, that's a good couple. Yo, that's a nice couple right there, without you even knowing what's going on behind the curtains.
Um, I I have one couple. I didn't think I would have a couple, but I have one particular couple, and because I follow them on Instagram. Um, their name is Deval and Kadeem, and they're from Brooklyn. And I love, and I feel like love's a strong word, but I like their relationship, and I like their transparency when it comes up to their relationship. And I like how their relationship is very relatable to me in certain aspects. Um, More on like Kadeem's side, being a mom. She's a mom to three whole boys and just
How
going.
old
She has she has three boys, and I don't remember their age. You have to look them up.
are they? Are they young?
Yeah. She got
Yes, that's
she
that's
like the
that.
last two was back to back.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, she had all three boys. You should look them up because
I check it out. Yeah.
yeah, and they have a podcast called Dead Ass also.
Okay.
So I personally I like their relationship because uh, they show so much of like what they've gone through to get to where they are now, where most couples you really don't know what they're going through, and if they went through it, how they went through it and how they dealt with it.
Hmm.
And they've been on a few couple platforms, and I've been able to watch their stories on a few different platform and their own platform, and they're so relatable because it's like, even though they're Instagrammer famous or whatever you want to call it, they're just like me and you. They have their troubles. They get into, the arguments, and they'll tell you like, this is what we argued about. And I'm just like, well, we just had that argument like a month ago. And I like when people like show you like, okay, this is why our life is not perfect. And if we
Yeah.
show it to you, then people realize like, oh wow, they're literally us. That's us right there in the flesh. And personally, I I don't want to say I look up to them, but I'm just like, you guys are literally like couple goals, your relationship goals. Like, you guys, I don't know. It's like I have no words because like they're so like they're really great people. Even though I don't even know them, and I'm like, they're really great people. But they just show so much realness that you just like, yeah, you guys are literally like couple goals. Like, yup. That's all I have to say. I don't want to repeat myself anymore.
Uh, I'm sure everyone. I'm sure everybody will appreciate that. Yeah.
What about you? Do you have like a couple that you look up to?
Um. You know what, yo? I don't really look up to any. So first, I'd say my parents. I'd start there. Like, I think it's funny is I think the first time me and Tanya went to JP, and I didn't know it. I didn't know it, and my parents were. My mom was alright when I mentioned it, but I think we got. I think we went to the JP the same day they got married.
Really?
I
Do you
think
guys
so. I think it's something. I think it's something. I think it's something like that.
do you
My
guys have the same
parents.
anniversary?
I think so. I think
Okay.
so. Yeah, we
Yeah,
only.
I checked
Yeah,
that one.
we celebrate the church one, We celebrate the church one, so it's different from what theirs would be. But that's besides the point. So
Mhm.
I look up to them first. I look up to them first and foremost. I think it's been it's been well over 40 years, and I think, and I don't they don't even talk about it. You don't even know.
That
You
they're
don't even
married.
Yeah, you don't even know that they've been married for that long. I probably when I this just reminds me, I meant to ask my mom earlier this week, yo, how long have you guys been married? You guys don't Y'all don't talk about it. You got my parents are very just very chill. They just want to make sure that the kids are okay, and they don't really talk about anything else. So
Mhm.
yeah, so this reminds me, I gotta ask them how long they've been married, just so I know. So I look up to them, how they handle how they handle their problems, or how they interact with each other, and a lot of that I learned that from when. That's why it's important to have the to having both parents in the house, because I got to watch how my dad operated with my mom, in terms of whether it's paying the bills, or your parents ain't gonna talk to you about the bills, but I see envelopes, I see stuff coming through. I see, he bought a car, he already had a car, he bought a car, she's driving the new whip, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's how you do it.
Mhm.
She's supposed to get it. If that's your lady, you gonna make sure she's straight. She doesn't have to think about She doesn't have to think about, is this a safe car? Is this nice or anything? She's not thinking about nothing but being a lady, and caring for the house, or working outside the house, whichever one she decides to do. So
Mhm.
she's got security, stability, and she just doesn't have to worry about dudes doing, some wild stuff. So that's what I learned from watching my parents operate over the years, and it works for me, and it works for me and Tanya.
Okay.
So other than my parents, I kind of just look at other people's relationships that I know, and I take a little bit from every I take a, you know I take a little bit of what I like on in how people um, how they operate with each other.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I look at one couple, and see how, this I'm not without naming any names. I see one couple, um, you know, one's highly, they're both highly successful, smart people. One's helping the other one out. They're helping each other out in each other's businesses,
Mhm.
or whether if it's not helping each other out in business, one's helping the other one get better at work, or
Mhm.
making suggestions on how that person can improve on how they're doing things. So it's it's just taking a little bit from everybody, and that's what I like to do. That's how I make things work for me. So I'll go back and I'll talk to Tanya, and just like, hey, how does this work? Let's try it. Let's try it this way. I saw it this. I saw one couple doing it this way. Let's
Mhm.
what we're doing right now is not working. Let's try this out.
Yeah.
That's
I mean, that makes sense. And I feel like that's perfectly like healthy to when you see other people's relationship and you want to try ways to make your relationship stronger and make the bond even more stronger. So I don't think there's anything wrong with that. That's, if anything, that's ways to build your relationship even more stronger, is when you can take, a little bit of here, a little bit of there, and then you put your twist on to it
mm,
and you make it work for your relationship. You don't do it exactly how they do it, because then it's gonna fail, because
yeah,
however they do it in their relationship is not how it's necessarily going to work in your relationship. So you take what you take, and then you finesse it, flip it, and then put it into your relationship, and then now it works for you.
yep. Yeah,
So that's
yeah, 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 and kind of coming, going off of what you just said. you see a lot of, especially with the whole celebrity worship and stuff. You see people, they see they see the celebrities. Oh, this is what they did, or this is what you see them doing, but behind closed doors, they're doing something totally different. I'm not gonna name nobody, but
Oh yeah,
while we had the week off,
we should just name them.
um, I never even heard of this dude before this happened. I seen him everywhere, huh?
How do you not know this fraud?
Because he a fraud, I guess. That's why I don't.
Fraud. You over
Man, just
here breaking up relationships.
oh
You
shoot.
know your name, Mr. Derek Jackson.
Yeah, see, I wasn't even gonna drop his name.
I
Um,
dropped it and stepped on it.
but
Yeah, I did it.
yeah, that was some wild stuff, yo. And I felt bad for I felt bad for the wife.
And the
Whether
kids.
she
And
decided
the kids
to.
too.
Hmm?
And they have kids, so you got the best of the kids.
Yeah, yeah. Like I said earlier, the kids feel the temperature on that. Um, just just the wife. I don't know if I don't. It seemed like he just forced his wife to come on the camera and do that, because I know. I mean, not that I would put myself in this kind of position, because it's just a wild spot to be in. But if Tanya is not going to let me first, I think he made a fool of her just by even doing the video. But then to do the video and then not even like get dolled up or look right for the video in the first place, that's a whole nother level to do something like that. And then you got, was it like the next day or something where he
Did a reaction video to
he
his own.
yeah he critiqued his own video. Yeah, I mean, I joke around and refer to myself in third person, but yo, this dude was serious.
He,
This
he,
dude was serious.
you took the time. You took the time to do a reaction video to yourself. Mm, Should I even say? So is he talking now in the fourth person? Because
Who knows? Who knows? Who knows?
that's what I want to know.
Who knows?
But I find that so crazy that you dragged your poor wife. Mind you, no one's ever seen his wife. You done dragged her on social media looking the way she looked. And I'm not saying, she is not an attractive woman, but sis could have put on some makeup, put some
Yeah.
chapstick on, lip tint, put a bra on, something.
Yeah, I don't know about all that, but oh, you know what? Just
Something.
so why don't for some of the people that be like myself who didn't know who he was and what happened, could you give the people just like 2 minutes, like a minute or two on the events from last week that
Yes.
developed last week?
So Derek Jackson is, I guess, influencer. He does reaction videos on people's relationship. He, I guess, a love expert, quote unquote. He does these reaction videos of people's relationship. He does reaction videos on marriage. He supports women. He is big on, supporting the whole marriage, love, women, kids, all of that, all that. So that's what he built his whole entire brand on, is women should leave a man if they do not have X, Y, and Z, if they don't dress like so and so, if all this stuff. He basically, I felt like he was putting out a blueprint, his own blueprint of what a marriage and a relationship and love should look like. Um, so
Okay.
last week comes out he cheated on his wife of 4 years for a whole year, and he denied everything until the mistresses all came out and started dropping the gems and the receipts, and now he
Mm.
was forced. He was forced to, I guess, come clean to the world, but his wife already knew, and he came clean to his wife already. He just brought the wife out to show the world that the wife knew and she supports him and yada yada yada. Yeah, so that is who he is.
Okay.
That's what unveiled last week is this
So,
psycho talking to himself,
so,
talking about himself in the third
so,
person
so
about his mistakes.
so it wasn't just one. So he had a whole, he
Yeah,
had a whole gang. Oh,
yeah.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Two. That. Oh, okay. All right.
He has two.
All right.
And the sad part is that I guess from, what I've gotten from the social world, um, this one particular mistress was letting everyone know that every time he did a video, it was outside his house, outside her house. And if you go on his page, he's still he's sitting outside her house doing these videos. And these
Listen,
videos are like 6 days old.
listen. The internet is a wild place, yo. You could take a
And he's
picture
deleting
somewhere. You
he's
could take a
deleting
picture
comments.
somewhere, and people like, yo, I know that spot. That's how. Yeah. That's how it goes. All right. So
Yeah.
not to spend too
So
much
enough
time
but
on
yeah.
this person, and
But hold
and
on,
talk about
B.
the downfall of people's relationships. Yes.
I was saying this is the perfect person to use to say we looked at him, people looked at him as
As
relationship
dog.
goals. Everyone thought he was the perfect husband. He supported his wife. Like this is what people see as like, oh, this is relationship goals until it comes crumbling down. You're like, whoa, you're not what I thought.
Yo, and it spoils the milk for people, yo, because the people that really looked up to him and looked up to to that relationship, even though I guess he never showed his wife anywhere. Um, like you see that and you're like, yo, this dude with all that talk he was talking,
You still did.
he manipulated like I guess millions of women just being in front of the camera like that. So he spoiled the milk for a lot of for a lot of people, and it's like, all right, so now if you're a woman or if you're a young lady and see you see someone that you like to date, or you're getting ready to date somebody, now it's like, yo, is he gonna do me like he did now? Like you're already on, you're on red alert.
But I think that that shouldn't be you. First of all, you shouldn't be listening
It
to anything.
could. It's
I know,
gonna do it though.
I know, but I personally feel like if you are a young woman and you're about to go and start dating, you shouldn't be listening to someone that be having third person conversations about himself. Like he's not the person you go looking for advice. And I feel like the people you go to is you start asking your friends that are in relationships,
Yeah.
not a year, not 2 years. You ask people that are in like a solid base relationship. Then you start asking your maid friends, those are the people you ask your parents. True. If you have the courage, if you have that type of relationship, then you ask your parents too
Yeah.
how
Definitely
things
ask the
go.
old heads.
Yeah, if you want to ask your aunt and your uncle, go on. But that's not someone you go looking for a advice because he doesn't know you. He's just doing a broad general like explanation. That's what I personally think.
Yeah, no, I feel you on that. At the same time, you gotta watch out which of the older couples that you ask, because some of them are just set in their ways, and it's just
Mhm.
like, oh, this is the way that it is, and it's like, yeah, I don't really. That's not the answer I'm looking to hear. I need I need to be met in the middle. How can I get my significant other to meet me in the middle and resolve this problem? And the answer that you just gave me is not gonna work. So now you're gonna have to move to the next couple. So it's good. Damn, sorry, yo. It's good to have multiple couples that you can multiple stable couples that you can look to and ask questions and have those discussions with them, and just and be like, yeah, like I don't mind being asked. I don't mind being asked questions. I guess I'm probably looked to as like an old head now, but I don't mind being asked, particular questions. They're like, yo, how did you get over? How did you get over that? Or did you face this? Or how did you how did you respond to this? How did you come over this adversity? I don't mind answering those kinds of questions. Not to say that our relationship is is an open book, but if I could help somebody out, if I can help someone, or a couple resolve a problem or dispute, why not? Why not help? Why not help somebody? Why not help somebody out? Even if I don't even like, there's been people that I don't really even know like that, and stuff like that comes up, and it's just like, hey, like, have you tried this, or have you have you whatever you're looking for? Have you asked it in a different way for you to maybe for you to get a different result? Or a big thing that people don't, I've noticed now, and especially in the past year, is having empathy. Being able to put yourself in another person's shoes, and figure out why they're acting the way that they're acting. It'll be easier for you to figure that out from their perspective, versus you just keep continuously beating them up with your point of view.
Yeah,
So
I agree.
people don't see that. So to see, to reach out to a quote unquote influencer, I think it's just someone that has I think it's someone that just happens to have a large following, and they're spitting out advice, not even living by that own advice. Not to say that me and you are perfect in any way, but I guess you just speaking your real truth, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I can say that I don't look at people say like everyone's perfect, like, oh, that's relationship goals, or they have the perfect relationship, because I don't know what's going on in their life, in their marriage, or whatever. I can only speak from my relationship, and I can say that my relationship for me is perfect for me. We can, obviously we have a lot of growing to do, but this is like my perfect relationship. He's the perfect man for me. I
Oh, that's so sweet. Oh,
I stop it. Tanya's the perfect person for you.
yes.
But
Yeah, that's my lady. I love Tanya.
see, so
Crazy.
this
Hot
is what
pepper.
I see. Huh?
I said hot pepper.
Hot pepper. Follow. Um like I was saying, he's the perfect man for me, and I wouldn't change it no other way. Um, Me and my husband, we have discussions from the first time we've met. Our story is extremely fun and interesting, and I love how we can have like deep and amazing conversations, and I love how he knows exactly like what I'm thinking. Like, he knows that, like, if I'm feeling any type of way, if I'm feeling down, or if I'm not in the fireest mood, he knows exactly what to do to,
I'm
like,
sorry, T. I gotta interrupt you. He knows what you're thinking. You gotta
sometimes.
yo. Don't rely on that, yo. Dudes
No,
don't do
I
up.
don't
Yo.
rely on it, but
All
sometimes
right, okay,
don't
all
I
right.
don't rely on it, because
You should know. You know what I'm thinking.
I know,
Yo,
I
don't
know,
yeah, don't fall
but
into that trap, yo.
for, he does, because we have been together for 4 years now, like before we got married. So we know each other. We know when one of us is annoyed, one of us is angry, when something's off with one of us, when because we are very, like, we play around, we joke, we're just like, I said, we're weird for each other. Like, we're both weird. So we're perfect for each other. And like, he'll know, like, if something's off with me, he'll like you ask Tanya, like, are you good? Are you okay? You know, like if he knows, like if I had like a previous conversation with him like weeks ago and he sees that like I still haven't snapped out of it, he'll do whatever he can, because that's what your husband and your significant other should do, to make sure like I get out of it and make me feel better, and vice versa. I do the same thing too. Um, and that's how our relationship, and I am very excited to see how we continue to grow in our marriage now as a married couple. And I would like to say like my relationship is couple goals, and other people know, even if no one else agrees, in which I don't care if anyone else agrees, and that I know that kind of sounded really harsh. Even if like, you know, if nobody agrees that like we are couple goals or relationship goals, I think that we are, you know, because that's it's my relationship and I can think of whatever I want with my relationship.
Yeah, you're your own relationship goals.
Exactly.
That's yeah, that's what it is. So if you can sit there and say that our relate you can be like, you know what, babe, our relationship is couples goals. That's because everything, everything that you guys talk about, mostly everything you guys talk about are in line with each other. You guys are in sync.
Mhm.
Um, you know, it's you can it's you guys can bounce stuff off of each other.
Yeah.
It's great. When I realized, you know what I realized was really couples goals for me, and it actually hit. When I mean, not that we go to parties anymore, but when the two of us could walk into a party and totally separate, we could completely separate, like we don't know each other, and just walk around the party, talk to people, and then end up coming back together like we was together the whole time.
Hmm.
Like she doesn't rely, like she's not gonna use me as a crutch
Hmm.
to just like she's not gonna hang on my arm all night long.
Yeah.
Like if I go to a function at work, I can get up and leave. I can get up and leave. I'm like yo, I'll be back, and she'll be like, yeah, go ahead, go. I'm gonna just sit here. I'll sit here and talk. And I'm like, oh man. I was like, that's one of the, that helps so much because and I'm not even, and she's more, what's the word? She's more, not outspoken, but I guess she's more of a social butterfly, I guess, to
Yeah.
the phrase. She's more of a social butterfly, and she'll go out and she'll go and just talk to everybody. And that's where my son gets that. Actually, both my kids are like that. So I'm glad they didn't get. I'm glad they didn't get that from. They didn't tread towards my way. I mean, I'll get out and I'll talk to everybody, but I gotta be I have to be in the mood. I don't have to be drunk or anything like that. I don't have to have a couple of drinks and be nice. But sometimes I don't really feel like. I mean, I just don't feel like talking. Nothing against anybody, but sometimes I just don't feel like talking. But it's so that's one of the biggest things where it's like, yo, for me, that's couples goals right there. Cause I don't have to think about, is she okay?
Hmm.
I need to be, I gotta circle back around in like 5 minutes to make sure that she doesn't feel like she's alone, or
Hmm.
like like my mind that's totally free from my mind. I know I could be. I know she'll be good wherever I leave her, and I can come back and get her. And same thing for her. Like I'm not afraid to take her somewhere, and she's not afraid to take me somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah, and I completely agree with that 1,000%. Like with Pat, you can go. If anything, I tell him like, go hang out with your friends. Go, it's fine. Go. Like I feel like people feel like their husband can't have a life outside their marriage. Like they can't hang out with their friends.
Yeah.
You know, they can't hang out with their friends. They can't, they can't go and like kick it and hang out with their friends, play 2K, like all these type of stuff. And I'm just like, no, I'm the complete opposite. If anything, I'm just like, go and hang out with your friends. I'm fine. I'm good. Like that stuff like that doesn't bother me, because at the end of the day, he has his friends, I just came in and just joined the family. So I'm not going to come and try to rip that apart and try to separate him from his friends, because that's just foolishness. And I would never do that. And I encourage him to go out. I encourage him to, have friends come over and play. They can play a little 2K, or they can come and like hang out, And before COVID, it's like every weekend we had somebody over. Every weekend, one of his boys were over. Or, if we want, we can go hang out with his friends. Or I say, you can go and I'll stay home, because I don't have a problem, and I'm secured in my relationship. So I don't have no problem with him going out. If he wants to go to a bar with his friends, okay, have fun. Just let me know when you're coming home.
Yeah, just don't make it sound. Yeah, just don't make it sound like you're about to hit him with the guilt trip. It's okay.
Yeah, and I don't. And that's the crazy. I don't hit him with the guilt trip. I don't, and he knows that I don't hit him with the guilt trip. There's no like, oh, but I mean, you could just stay home with me. Well, no, I'm like, go have fun. He knows that. He knows that.
I know. Yeah, some of y'all ladies like to do that. Hit dudes with the guilt trip, and you will see and you will find dudes that are like myself. I'm like, oh, that's what you said. All right, okay, yeah, I'm gone. I'm out the door. I'm gone.
Yeah. Nope. I'm over here helping you find an outfit.
Listen, I'm gonna tell a real quick story. So before Isaiah was born, so Tanya was pregnant with Isaiah, and it was about, I think she was going on 7 months, maybe 7.5 months, and I had a trip planned to go to Arizona to go visit my cousin, and she's like, and I was like, yo, you mind if I go? And she said, and she's like, nah, go ahead. And I was like, damn. I was like, all right, I got the word. I got to go. I got to go. And then I talked to my dad, and we'd been married for a few years, and I wasn't thinking. I'm like, yo, I'm about to go to Arizona. I'm about to hit the West Coast. And, well, not exactly the West Coast, but I was trying to fly out west. I don't get the opportunity to do that often, and even go visit my cousin. And I was mad excited. My dad, I told my dad, yo, I'm leaving. I'm going to Arizona. He said, what about Tanya? And shoot, and I think, and what happened was she caught a cold, so she got a little sick. I'd already purchased my ticket and everything. My pops was like, oh, you still going? I was like, yeah. He's like, no, don't. He's like, no, don't go. He's like, you might be hearing about it. You might be hearing about this forever. So, so I was like, fine. I was like, all right, fine. And then I called my cousin and I told him I wasn't gonna come. He's like, yo, good call, cuz you were. He was like, yo, it's probably. It's like, it might have been a trick. I was like,
why?
I was like, yo, you know what? I was like, yo, you're right. I was like, yo, I probably would have been hearing about this forever. So just like, if y'all mean no, and I still to this day don't know if it was a guilt trip on her part, if she was really saying yes, go ahead and go, or if it was, let me see if this dude leaves me while I'm 7 months pregnant and goes to Arizona and goes to chill with his cousin. Like, I don't know.
But okay, so okay, were you going just for the weekend, or was
I was going. Yeah, I was going just for the weekend. I hadn't seen him. I've never gone. I never went to go visit him.
Okay.
Yeah, I never been out there.
I feel like we got ask Tanya. We gotta get Tanya.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to. Yeah, we're gonna get the camera and the camera in her face and everything. We're gonna ask him. We're gonna get the real answer.
Exactly.
We're gonna get the real answer.
But it's not a guilt trip. I definitely don't guilt trip, because he knows. The thing is, he knows if like if I don't want him to go, or if I want him to go. And 9 out of 10, I want him to go. I want him to go and have fun with his friends. His friends was there before me. So how dare I tell him that he can't go hang out with his friends? And if he doesn't want to hang out with his friends, he'll say, like, you know what? I don't really feel like going. I just want to stay home and, watch a show. And I'm like, are you sure? He's like, yeah. I'm like, okay, then that's it. I'm not gonna push it, because if he says no, then it's a no. That's the thing with my husband. When it's a no, it's a no. There's no
Mm.
like he's done. He's already on the couch with the blanket. So, like that's it. So I don't guilt trip him
Oh,
in no
okay.
time.
All right.
And
All right.
that's why I say I personally feel like my relationship is couple goals because of how we do it in our relationship, how we make our relationship work. I consider it couple goals. And you consider you and Tanya's relationship couple goals because how you guys run your relationship
Yep.
and how, you guys have a well-oiled steam train, like, you can it just works perfectly for you guys.
Yeah. So yeah, it's tailor. It's tailor made to each relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that I'm just remembering this now, and I always thought it was. I don't know. Maybe it was just I was a bit of a pain. I was a bit of a pain in the ass, and I one of the things was for me when we were younger that I needed to just happen was so we had this constant struggle of she would ask me where I'm going, and I didn't want to like I felt like I was being interrogated to be like I needed GPS tracking, like I needed an ankle bracelet or something so she could track my movements.
That's a
So I
bad
would just get up, yeah, I would just get up and bounce, or I would go one place and then I would end up going like 6, 7 different other places. You didn't say you were going here. I'm like, yo, you asked me too many questions. You asked me where I gotta call you for each and every location that I stop at. Yo, babe, I'm here. Yo, babe, I'm here. Yo, I'm here. Yo, I'm here.
No, you don't have to do that.
Yo, that was it was seriously aggravating.
But
But
why would you feel like it was
I don't
aggravating?
I don't know. Because I'm an adult. Because I'm an adult, and it just felt like I was getting that so much from my I lived at home I lived at home, of course. Brady, where you going? Tell me where you going, Brady. So I had to do that with my parents. So to get it from my wife or my you know what? It stopped before we came husband and wife. And this is what and I'm gonna tell you how dumb that might sound of me just being like maybe to some people being like stop asking me where I'm going. Before we got married, it stopped, and I'm gonna tell you what happened. So she stopped asking me. She stopped asking me where I was going. So you know what happened? I started telling her where I was going, every spot, most spots that I was going to. I was like, yo, damn. I was like, okay, I find like, is it now? She's like, I'm being trusted, or she's like treating me like an adult or treating me like a man. So I'm like, okay, she's not asking me where I'm going all the time anymore. And I'm like, you know what? I'll gladly tell you where, because it felt like such an interrogation. So now she's not asking. So now I'm like, yeah, I'll gladly tell you where I'm going. Hey, I'm stop here. Yeah, I'm gonna stop by. I'm gonna stop by Mrs. Cribbo quick. And then yeah, it just got it just snapped, and it got that easy. That was a goal. That was literally a goal of mine, like of ours, because she was trying to achieve something, and I was trying to achieve something at the same time. So we had this constant like pushing, pulling in different directions, and then finally, I don't know if I decided to act like I decided to be reasonable, and she stopped asking, and we ended up meeting each other in the middle.
Hmm. I mean, I don't think like her asking you like, oh, where are you going? It's like a interrogation. If anything, I would think just like, oh, where are you going? Just so like I know, you're gonna be okay. Like, that's just a
As a
simple.
young as a young man though, as a young guy, that's not how it comes off. It comes off as you want to know every single thing I'm doing. You need that GPS on my ankle. That's what you want. And that's how I felt. That's how I felt until it stopped. It stopped, and I was like, oh, it stopped.
Yeah.
Okay, I can tell you. Oh, you know what? I'll start telling. Oh, sure. It is. it became less, less of her asking became me giving her more.
So essentially, it's like Tanya kind of realized that asking you wasn't gonna get, anything done because you weren't gonna tell her. So she just said, let me try not asking him anything at all, and you see how it worked out.
Yeah. And it was so dumb too because it was I
Now, when you
forgot,
think of it, you're just like, wow, I was an ass.
huh?
You probably thinking like, wow, I was an ass. Like,
I definitely was.
simple question.
I
Turned
definitely, yeah,
into,
I definitely was. And if you ask her, she'll definitely say yeah.
well, guys, you hear it. You hear what we consider as couple goals, and what we think of other people's relationship. And I mean, I don't like saying, "Oh, that's couple goals," so because I don't know what they're going through. So we shouldn't idolize people's relationship because you never know what's going on in the background. So I think that's my final words. Never
Yeah,
idolize.
yeah. I'll finish up with just I always say, you could, if there was a bag of problems, if you took, if I took my problems and I took someone else's problems and threw them all in a bag, and I took a peek in that bag and somebody else's problems, yo, I'm taking my problems back.
Yep.
I'm
Because
taking,
I bet you anything, your
I'm
problems look way
yeah,
better.
I'm taking my problems back. So to look at someone else's relationship and think that's the cream of the crop, or that's the, like, I need my entire relationship to be just like that one over there. I have no idea what's going on over there.
I
It,
feel
you know what it you know what I see on the outside might look great, but again, behind the curtains, it's not the most pleasant of places. So just continue to, if you're in a relationship, and you want to be with, and that's the person that you want to be with, you are gonna have to make sacrifices. There
that.
are gonna be some compromises that you're gonna have to make, and if and you can't, and and during those discussions, you gotta have empathy.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta have empathy. It can't turn into a shouting match, because
No,
you can't, you're not gonna be.
nothing gets done.
Yeah, yeah, nothing gets done. And last, I'm gonna leave off with accountability.
Ooh.
That's something that a lot of people are lacking these days.
Mhm.
Definitely having accountability within the relationship for whatever happens. Make sure you have that.
And
Um, yeah,
don't compare.
and don't
Also,
com- yeah, and don't compare. Was it trying? I guess, keeping up with the Joneses.
yeah, keeping with the Joneses, or the what's that show? On T, it's never mind. It's
I
not
don't
even
even
in
know. I barely even watch TV anymore, yo.
the Jeffersons. The Jeffersons. Don't be like the
You said
Jeffersons.
the Jeffersons. You know what? I was actually binging that a few weeks ago. I was binging the Jeffersons. I
Mm.
said, I was like, I made the kids watch it. I was like, yo, y'all gonna sit here and watch this.
Did they?
Isaiah did. Autumn, not so much.
Seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so talking about relationships right now. In the next few weeks, we're definitely working on putting together a singles panel. We want to
Yeah.
hear, we want to hear what everybody, what the single people out there think about,
The
you
dating
know,
pool.
if they, how come they're not in a relationship. Not to say that you have to be in one. That's your own personal decision. But what is dating like out there?
Is
I
it
hear
trash?
you say it's trash.
Is it trash? I don't
Oh, is it
know.
trash? Yeah, is it? Yeah,
Yeah,
is it trash out there?
I'm taking it already. But is the dating pool trash?
Yeah. So what's going on? I mean, I see some. Not to jump too much into it. I see some. I see a lot of ladies out there that got good heads on their shoulders. Um, but
Can't find the right guy.
yeah, they can't find the right dude, or there's a dude or there's dudes out there that got that got their right head on their shoulders, and they can't find a lady
Mhm.
for them to for them to settle down with. So what's good out there, people? What's going on? We gonna put a panel together. Y'all gonna be hearing about it real soon. I'm excited for that one for sure.
Me too.
I know
Get
T
your
is.
questions. Get your questions together, please. DM us your questions for this particular panel because we would love to know what that pool looks like. That dating pool, the dating app, that swiping, all that extra stuff. Please go ahead and leave us a comment here or DM us at our Instagram or leave us a message on our Facebook account. We would love to hear what you guys think or want to hear on the panel. So please give it to us all. Give it all.
Yeah, yo, do people still talk?
Save it. Save it. Save it.
But
Write a note. Save it.
all right, and last but not least, we finally got one of these out here relevant discussions merch
We got
sweater
a
here.
merch.
Yeah, so I enjoy this. This is kind of like a stone writing if you can get it. Well, obviously you can't get close to it, but we're gonna put some pictures up on the gram, and then we got the hashtag on the back. If you can see
Discuss
that,
that.
discuss that. Make sure y'all whatever it is. Make sure y'all discuss that. I'm
Discuss
done.
it.
I'm done.
Finish.
That's it for me, yo.
Done. All right. As always, please make sure to like, subscribe, follow. Go down, hit that little red button, subscribe. Then next to it is a little bell. Hit that bell so you always know when we upload onto YouTube. And then when you are done, open up your Instagram app and go follow us on Instagram. Go follow, like pictures, share our pictures, leave comments. We love to interact with our followers. And then once you're done, go over to Facebook, like, leave comments, share. And that's it, guys. We greatly appreciate and thank you for joining us for another episode of the Relevant Discussion Podcast with T and B. Have a great night, guys.
Thank you. Appreciate your time. Have a good
Bye.